Could an arrest be imminent on the Harvey Weinstein sex scandal?
As we told you at the top of the hour in this newscast, the LAPD has submitted 3 cases to the DA's office for possible charges. Joining us right now to talk about that and the Scott Baio latest, Heidi Hamilton from Dish Nation and Frosty, Heidi, and Frank on KLOS. All right, Heidi, thank you for being here.
Of course.
Let's start with Harvey Weinstein. Basically, this means it sounds like he's one step closer to a courtroom.
Well, yeah, it could be. So what the LAPD has done is they've got at least 3 cases that they've gathered information on, sent it to the DA's office. Now it's up to the DA's office to look at everything, because you watch all those crime shows. They look at it and they go, "We need more. We can't take this to trial. We can't go to court with this." So now what the DA's office has to do is look at everything and say, "All right, is there enough here, enough proof that we can go further and file charges against him and possibly charge him with these crimes?" So now it's in their hands whether or not that's going to happen.
So with Harvey Weinstein, there have been so many accusations.
Oh, my God.
He has said anything that happened he thought was consensual.
Right.
What allows these 3 cases to go to the DA's office?
Well, see, that's the interesting piece that we don't know, because they're not revealing what kind of cases they were. I mean, he was sort of all over the map as far as what he did to women. So it's like we don't know. But obviously, for the DA's office, or for the LAPD to send to the DA's office, they have to have what they think is enough information. But again, they're not releasing that to us, which is probably smart. It's like, let's keep this clean, let's keep this in-house so that it doesn't leak out, and so that maybe they have a better chance at maybe really getting this guy.
We
have something on him.
Exactly. Well, there are investigations from LAPD, NYPD, UK police,
well, yeah.
Beverly Hills police. Have we heard anything from Weinstein's reps regarding these latest turning over the DA today?
They haven't commented on this latest round, but he has continued to say that he is absolutely innocent, that he's done nothing wrong. The only thing that he admitted to, and when I was researching this today, he did admit to being inappropriate with Uma Thurman. Once or twice, but that was he said nothing physical happened, but it was just like, asking her out and not getting an answer, sort of what you were talking about earlier with the asking people. He was working with a lot of these actresses. Yeah. He was a producer, so essentially working with or being the boss of these women, and so he was sort of breaking the protocol that you guys just talked about before.
And you got to think the LA cases have to be here in LA. Right?
Yeah, correct. Right.
So it wouldn't be other cases they'd be looking at.
Yeah.
All right, another big story we've been following is actor Scott Baio, actress Nicole Eggert. She was underage. She was, what, 14,
She was 14 years old when she worked on Charles in Charge with Scott Baio, who was 11 years older than her. And this has been going on now for a little while, where she came forward and said that when she was 14 years old, again, he's quite a bit older than her, that he sexually assaulted her. She was an underage girl. She was a minor. And she's come forward and said that this happened. He denies it 100%. He does admit to eventually being with her, but when she was 18, when she was of age. But she said that they did do things. She was still a virgin, so I've tried to keep it as clean as I possibly can. But Scott Baio did do things to her. And he is saying, you know what, if this is true, because he sent her a cease and desist letter, said, you need to stop doing this. You're ruining me on social media. You're ruining me in the media. And he said, stop talking about it. And if you really believe this happened, then why don't you file a police report against me?
She did.
So she said, okay, I'm going to do that. And one of her co-stars on the show actually played her brother on the show.
That's Alexander Polinsky.
Yes. He went with her to show support and basically be a witness, saying, I did witness this. He walked in on Nicole Eggert sitting on Scott Baio's lap, which looked very inappropriate. Scott Baio yelled at him, called him many homophobic slurs, and says that he was actually physically abused by Scott Baio as well. Not sexually, but physically abused by Scott Baio as well. So he filed his own police report.
In fact, he called the environment toxic.
Yeah, he said it was no picnic. It was a toxic environment to be in, that no child, children on a TV set should be, protected, and that definitely was not the case on the Charles in Charge set. And so they're both going after him. Again, it's been 30 years. I don't know how you prove one way or another, but maybe just filing the charges and talking about it will keep other people in check. We'll be like, you know what, this is no one's going to stand for this stuff anymore. So maybe, there's not going to be arrest in the Scott Baio case, but maybe it will shed light and get people talking and keep it from happening again.
Right. The big question you sort of touched on there is what is the end game here?
I know.
And not to diminish what Nicole Eggert is saying, right? But if the statute of limitations, we're talking about 1986 to 1990, it's 10 years.
Yes.
Until Governor Brown changed it. Anything after October of 2017,
then that changes
there's no
things.
statute of limitations. So what's the end game?
You know, it's interesting. I was listening to her in an interview earlier today, and she said, you know what, how about an I'm sorry? She says, you know what, those words do go a long way. But I don't think you're going to get an I'm sorry from Scott Baio if he's standing by the fact that he didn't do anything. So the thing that she's sort of after, I don't think you're going to get, because why are you going to apologize for something you didn't do? The second you say I'm sorry, in his eyes, I'm sure he thinks
that's an admission.
I would
of guilt.
say, yeah, I'm guilty, which he's saying nothing happened. 100% nothing happened.
All right.
I hope we don't have any more of these, right?
Right.
I mean, I love coming and talking to you guys, but you know.
And Weinstein, then we have to wait to hear from the DA's office to see if they pick up any of these cases.
Right. So it could end up just being a misdemeanor. You know, they may charge him with a misdemeanor and not anything bigger. So we'll see. I'll keep you up to date.
All right, you can hear Heidi every morning on Frosty, Heidi, and Frank weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. on 95.5 KLOS Radio. You can see her weeknights at 11:30 on Dish Nation. That's right here on Fox 11. Thanks, Heidi.
Anytime.
All right, be right back.